The phrase "living on a volcano" is usually used as a metaphor, a way to describe constant tension and uncertainty. But on our planet, there are places where this expression is not figurative at all. Places where people truly live on a volcano, in the most literal sense. One of those places is the Japanese island of Aogashima. It is a tiny tropical island of volcanic origin, lost in the waters of the Philippine Sea. Aogashima is considered the southernmost and most isolated inhabited island of the Izu archipelago. There are no cities here, no resorts, no busy ports. All life on the island is concentrated in a single small village, which officially belongs to the Tokyo metropolitan government. A small community of residents has consciously chosen to live in one of the most unusual and dangerous places in Japan. Beneath their homes lies a volcano that last erupted at the end of the 18th century and is still classified as active today. Aogashima is a rare example of a complex volcanic island. Most of its surface is actually a massive caldera, a huge depression formed after a volcanic collapse. This basin measures about 1.5 kilometers in diameter, but the island's uniqueness doesn't stop there. Inside this giant caldera sits another volcanic crater called Maruyama. In other words, a volcano exists inside a volcano, a crater within a crater. This extraordinary geological structure makes Aogashima truly unique, even by global standards. The exact moment when humans first settled on the island remains unknown. However, historical records from Japan's Edo period do mention Aogashima. These documents describe several episodes of volcanic activity that shaped the island's fate. The most devastating eruption occurred in 1785. It was so powerful that it claimed the lives of approximately 130 to 140 people, nearly half of the island's population at the time. The disaster was catastrophic. As a result, Aogashima was completely abandoned. For almost 50 years, no one lived there. Eventually, people returned. Fully aware of the risks, they chose to rebuild their lives on the island once again. Much of Aogashima's current landscape was formed after that 18th century eruption. In terms of size, the island is extremely small. It stretches just 3.5 kilometers in length and about 2.5 kilometers at its widest point. From the air, the island's unusual shape is immediately clear. But even at ground level, Aogashima leaves a powerful impression with its rugged and dramatic beauty. For centuries, the absence of natural harbors and the presence of strong ocean currents made the island difficult to reach. Aogashima feels cut off from the rest of the world. There is only one pier capable of handling vessels up to 500 tons, and even that becomes unusable during storms or rough seas. Despite this isolation, adventurous travelers have always been drawn to the island. The journey typically begins at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. From there, visitors fly to the nearby island of Hachijojima, located about 64 kilometers away. The final leg of the trip depends on the weather. Travelers can either take a daily helicopter flight or spend 3 hours crossing the sea by boat. But for the island's residents, this journey is not an adventure, it's everyday life. Today, Aogashima is home to around 170 permanent residents. Most of them make a living through fishing and small-scale agriculture. Because the island lacks flat land and abundant fresh water, growing rice is nearly impossible. Instead, the primary crop here is sweet potatoes. Additional income comes from the small number of tourists and from enthusiasts of underwater fishing, attracted by the island's exceptionally clear waters. There is a school on Aogashima, but education only continues until the age of 14. After that, students must leave the island to continue their studies elsewhere. The island also has a few small shops, a couple of bars, a car repair workshop, and a gas station, just enough infrastructure to support daily life. Despite its size, many residents prefer to travel by car. If a vehicle isn't available, walking is often the best option. Bicycles are less practical due to steep roads, strong winds, and frequent rain. The island has plenty of roads, though most of them are narrow and winding. Traffic jams are impossible here. The maximum speed limit is just 30 kilometers per hour, and honestly, there's nowhere to rush. You can reach any point on the island in about 10 minutes. This slow, unhurried pace of life can feel almost surreal, especially to people used to the constant rush of large cities. Despite its remoteness, Aogashima is not disconnected from the modern world. The island has stable mobile coverage and high-speed internet. In 2020, an underwater fiber optic cable was installed, finally bringing reliable connectivity to the island. Aogashima has a subtropical climate with moderate humidity. The surrounding waters remain warm throughout the year. However, there are no sandy beaches here. The island is encircled by steep volcanic cliffs, rising between 50 and 200 meters above sea level. During the rainy season, the outer slopes of the caldera suffer from severe erosion. To protect the land, residents reinforce the soil with concrete structures. From a distance, these areas give the landscape an almost alien appearance. Tourism on Aogashima remains minimal. Still, the island offers basic accommodations, a small hotel, and a camping area for visitors seeking simplicity and nature. The main activities here are hiking and sightseeing. Some of the most breathtaking views can be seen from Mount Otonbu, the island's highest point at 423 meters above sea level. From its summit, the entire island is visible, including the inner crater of Maruyama. Another popular viewpoint is located in Oyama Park, reached by a hiking trail about 1 kilometer long. On clear nights, the observation deck becomes an ideal place to admire the star-filled sky. After a long walk, visitors often relax in the geothermal sauna or stop by a local bar to sing karaoke with residents and sample a traditional sweet potato-based drink. One day is usually enough to explore the island, but for those seeking true isolation and peace, staying longer makes sense. Sometimes, however, the decision to leave isn't up to the traveler. Strong winds, rough seas, and endless rain can delay departures for days. Aogashima is without a doubt one of Japan's most fascinating and beautiful islands. Its landscapes feel mysterious, powerful, and untouched by time. Paradoxically, the lack of mass tourism helps preserve the island's fragile balance. The locals deeply love their home and have no desire to leave, even though Japan's meteorological agency still considers the volcano active. And this is only a small part of what our planet is hiding. Discover more wonders of our planet.